Let's take a look at some new designs for camera vibration isolation. And what we're looking at here are vibration isolators for really big cameras. Specifically what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a GH4 or a Canon cinema camera. And that's why these mounts are so big. This is 12 inches in diameter. This is 12 inches in diameter. You know, here we have wire rope isolators that are 3/16 in diameter. This is common. The wire rope isolators are really common. This is on a suction cup mount, and I'll probably use the gimbal here from the Ronin M. Seems to be a nice gimbal for kind of what I refer to as mid-size cameras, you know, like the DSLRs. But what I wanted to show you guys today was, you know, I've made quite a few wire rope isolators, and they're fairly easy to make here in the shop. And of course you can tune these easily. As you can see, I might be putting about 4 pounds of pressure on the top here, and you can see it wiggling around a little bit. All you have to do is loosen either this bolt or this bolt, shorten up your wires an equal amount all the way around, and then you can support a little bit more weight. But in doing so, then you have less vibration isolation. So what I've come up with is a new design I want to try, and these are just prototypes that I made on the laser and the 3D printer using silicon O-rings. Now, there are companies that use silicon O-rings in their actual vibration isolators. There's a neat company out west that has some really neat cartridge style vibration isolators that use silicon O-rings, a little bit smaller than this, but that's a neat cartridge system where they can snap in, snap out, and they've got like 3 different hardnesses of these silicon O-rings, which is really, really cool. So, you know, I like to make my own stuff. This was my first prototype, and what I discovered was that with a particular size O-ring that I have, and the durometer of this O-ring, which means its hardness, this can support 8 pounds of weight before it starts to collapse or move, which is very, very good. The one thing that I learned in this particular design is that its yaw motion does not have as much dampening. What I mean by yaw is if you can see this rotation, this is you know, rotating like this. You can see that in this particular design, these silicon, you know, O-rings or dampeners that I've constructed here don't have strength as much as they do in, like, let's say an X or a Y or a straight down Z. Not nearly as strong. So I went to this design, which it's the same size, and I can use the same size silicon O-rings, but I'm placing them radially from the center axis, as you can see, whereas these are just following the diameter of the circle. So what that will do is that will prevent this extreme easy yaw from happening, because that can really interfere with your camera video. That's not going to give you good camera video if all of a sudden, you know, you have this yaw movement. Even though you may have a gimbal system on it, you know, that's still not good. So anyway, this does not have the top plate on it. Obviously, this is the top plate that goes on top. Again, these two are just prototypes. I'm just experimenting with the design. But what I've learned so far is that, you know, placing these if I want to call them cartridges, in the radial fashion like this, that completely eliminates my yaw. So if you guys are into making your own camera vibration isolators, you you know, obviously this is a pretty simple design, and this can even be expanded upon. You can see I've got additional holes here where I can, if I want to use a smaller diameter wire but more of them, I've got a lot more locations around here where I can put, you know, more loops in. But again, I kind of want to get away from the wire rope. I like the thought of the silicon. I feel like the silicon might do a better job of dampening vibrations than the wire rope. You know, I don't have like scientific data on this, but it's just fun to experiment. You know, I've got the ability to build these things, and it's fun to experiment and you know, see how smooth the video turns out. You know, in different terrain conditions. I'll probably this is made to mount onto a vehicle with the suction cups, but I do have a very, very large radio control car that I might mount this on with my cinema camera. See how well that does. Actually, I'm not going to use this design. I'm going to use this design and see how well that works out. But this is neat because, you know, the O-rings can be changed in diameter. They can be changed in hardness. And if you have a sharp eye, you'll see that this diameter is a little bit bigger than this diameter. I think those are 2 inches. These, I think, are 1.5 inches in diameter, but they come in all different diameters. So it's a very easy way to change your load carrying capability as well as your vibration dampening. But again, if you guys are into making these things, and you may kind of think about going with this design, I would really recommend that you go with this design. That way you're going to eliminate that soft spot that you would have in that yaw axis. So stay tuned. We'll get some more information up on how this works, and, you know, hopefully some video footage as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this mount and put it on top of the plate that goes here. That way I can put the Ronin gimbal on here, and then I can put that on anything. I can mount this back to my suction cup mount. I can put it on my RC car. We can put it on a motorcycle, whatever, and do some fun video experiments to see how well this design works out. And if it works out well, obviously I'll replace this with you know, nice lightweight aluminum. So there you have it, guys. A little bit of information on vibration isolators for camera systems. So stay tuned, and we'll have some information for you hopefully as soon as possible. Thanks, guys.